Hello everyone and welcome back. Following our previous videos on how to troubleshoot your network with RouterOS, we're going to see the Traceroute tool in action and discuss how you can pair Traceroute with the Torch to have a better understanding of what's happening on your network. We'll start with sending trace packets to our upstream network from the class AP. Then, after reviewing the results of this trace, we'll give you an overview of the Torch, and afterwards we'll show you how you can use this monitoring tool for a better, more precise understanding of the status of your network. So, if you remember, for the class AP, the upstream network consists of the main internet switch as well as the global internet domain. To begin with, we'll refer to the Traceroute tool from the Tools menu and start our upstream trace by sending trace packets to our default gateway, that is the destination address of 172.31.252.254. By referring to the IP menu and the route submenu, you can find this address in the routing table. We'll input this address in the Traceroute to field and click Start. As you can see, the class AP is successfully tracing the route toward our main internet switch. Next, we'll go further than our local network and send trace packets to the destination address of 8888. This time, by making 15 hops as can be seen in the results table, the class AP is again successfully sending its packets to our intended destination address. Moreover, to check the performance of our DNS service, we'll input the domain yahoo.com as our next destination. This time, the class AP is making 14 hops and is successfully tracing the route to the domain address of yahoo.com. You can also turn on the Use DNS option and restart the trace for the same address, and you will receive the same results and hops in the DNS format instead of IP addresses. Thus far, the class AP is successfully sending trace packets to the main internet switch as well as the addresses of 8888 and yahoo.com. Now, in order to check the status of our access point source addresses, we need to specify a source address for our trace. For this purpose, refer to the IP menu and the addresses submenu, where you can find both source addresses on the class AP. We'll start with the source address of 172.31.252.100. Once we put 8888 as our destination and start the trace, we can see that the trace is successfully running as it did previously. However, when we input the second source address of the class AP and ping the address 8888, we'll get back timeout results, indicating that somewhere on the upstream network routes, our packets are getting dropped. Although we know that the packets are being dropped, we don't have an exact idea of where this is happening. In this situation, we need another tool to provide us with more information, and this is where Torch comes in. By referring to MikroTik's wiki, we can read more about Torch. Unlike Ping and Traceroute, Torch is a network monitoring utility, and it is used to monitor the traffic flow over an interface. This is quite important to remember, that with Torch and based on different categories and filters, you can monitor the network, and that Torch does not generate any packets of its own. You can access Torch via the Tools menu. This is the main Torch interface, and it consists of 4 main sections, namely Basic, Collect, Filters, and the results table at the bottom. The Basic section of the Torch window has 2 fields. The first is Interface. As mentioned, Torch does not generate packets, so this interface is actually the interface you are choosing for monitoring. Next, we have Entry Timeout. Entry Timeout specifies the amount of time each result will stay in the results table below. Since Torch is a real-time utility, its results will keep coming and going. Therefore, if you need to inspect your results, you can set the entry timeout value higher so that the results stay longer in the table. The Collect section gives you 9 options that you can toggle on and off. These 9 options are the information that can be provided by Torch, and by turning on any of these 9 options, you will receive their values in the results table when you run Torch. And on the right, we have the Filters section. As the name suggests, you can use all the fields in the Filter section to filter and categorize your results based on one or more specific variables. Now, to run Torch and see it in action, we will first start an ongoing ping command so that we have live packets traveling through the network. Our ping destination will be 8888, and we will use our class AP's source address of 10.0.0.254. Since we expect our ping packet to exit from the Ether1 out interface toward the destination of 8888, we will select the Ether1 as the interface that should be monitored. By clicking on Start, you can see that Torch starts giving us information of ongoing traffic on the Ether1 interface of the class AP. Now, if you wish to make your diagnosis more relevant and accurate, you can use the collect and filter variables to your advantage. For instance, if you tick the port option and rerun Torch, you can see that port numbers appear next to your source and destination addresses. Similarly, if you turn on the protocol option, Torch will show you the protocols being used by the ongoing traffic. Moreover, you can narrow down your Torch results via the available filters. For example, if we set the source address value to 8888, Torch will only show you the results that have 8888 as their source address. Or if we reset the source address field but choose ICMP as the protocol, you will receive only the traffic that is using ICMP. Now, going back to the result of our ongoing ping from the source address of 10.0.0.254 to the destination address of 8888, you can see that we are transmitting traffic but not receiving any response. However, if we change our source address to 172.31.252.100 and rerun Torch, we start receiving a response from 8888 as well. Why is that? Why is 10.0.0.254 unable to get a response back from 8888? That is a question for our upcoming sessions. As always, we'll be more than happy to answer your questions, so leave them in the comments section and stay with us as we'll be introducing a more advanced troubleshooting tool in the next session. See you then.